Welcome to Authentic Conversations with Ryan James Miller. Join Ryan as he speaks with top business leaders and influencers, and hear how they've mastered the art of authenticity to achieve all that they dreamed of. As you hear from these leaders, seek not only to be inspired by their authenticity, but to strive for and master your own.
All right, what up and welcome to another episode of Authentic Conversations. I'm rolling solo today and I'm talking all about freedom. You've probably, if you followed me for any period of time, you've been hearing me talk a lot more about this pursuit of freedom, right? This idea of trashing goals because they're nothing but finish lines, temporary at best, and instead focusing on something that is long and lasting. Freedom to do what I want, when I want, with the people that I want. Talk about it a lot. Well, this episode today is specifically going to be, or at least primarily directed towards the men. Though, ladies, if you're listening to this, I appreciate you. You're probably going to grab some good value from this as well. And maybe you've got a significant other or just a friend in your life that you want to turn this podcast over to. I'm going to try and make it short and sweet, but I really want to lay out this idea of what it means to take the life that we've been called to live and ultimately to pursue freedom. So it's going to be somewhat of a practical journey through this process that I take my one-to-one clients as well as my Foundation to Freedom Academy participants through. So, most people, men, women, they want a few key things in their life, right? They're looking for a successful career. We want to make something of ourselves. We want to have a great job. We want to earn money, probably some sense of notoriety, right? We want that. Most of us, we're looking for a solid marriage. We want to have a spouse that loves us, cares for us, supports us, protects us, provides for us. So we definitely are looking for a good, solid, healthy marriage. We want great friendships. We want people to be able to support us and encourage us, pour into us, and we want to be able to do the same thing. We don't just want people to hang out with. Though we want to hang out with people, we really want to go deeper than that. But ultimately, when I think about the thing that we want most, even though we may not articulate it well, is this idea of freedom. We want to enjoy our life. We kind of want to do life on our own terms. Obviously, there are some parameters to that, but that's what we're all really after. The problem is, and guys, this is for you specifically, chances are high that because you have such a deep desire to achieve that kind of first thing that I talked about, because you have such a deep desire to achieve, you end up straining the rest of your life. I mean, go with me here for a second, right? You found yourself just working hour after hour, maybe staying late in the office, bringing work home. All you need to do, you just need to close one more deal. Maybe you're working really, really hard to build a business. So you're working long hours, you're working extra hard, you're deeply investing into that. And man, if you just had this little bit of help, but you're almost too proud to ask for it. Or like me, you promised your wife and kids, this season of life is going to come to an end soon. I just need to work a little bit harder for a little bit longer, and then we are going to reap all the rewards of my hard work, of our hard work. Maybe the worst one of the bunch is you lie awake at night trying to figure out how the hell every bit of life is going to come together. The stress, the frustration, the anxiety, it's not just negativity pounding down on us, but it's hindering our ability to perform at the highest level. I mean, could you realize what it would be like to be a star athlete, burdened as you stepped up to the plate in the bottom of the ninth inning, trying to hit the go-ahead run? Could you imagine what it would be like coming to the final day of the Masters golf tournament, and your brain is so overburdened with what you're doing and how you're doing it? Like, could you even think to perform at the highest level? I mean, there is no chance. All of those things are hindering us. And yet, we're really not doing anything about it. My encouragement to you is to recognize that it's time to break free from all of that nonsense. Look, I don't mean to discount the fact that hard work is necessary, that you need to build a business, that you need to build a career, that you want to invest into your wife and kids, that there is a lot of stress involved in doing that. And as the result of that, sometimes you're going to lose sleep. You're going to get unhealthy at times. I get it. I get it. You're in pursuit of good things. They're just not the best things for you. You've probably heard me say, and I opened this up with this idea that goals are doing nothing but hindering our ability to live a life of freedom. It's not that they're worthless. Goals can be great. Goals are wonderful mile markers to help us get to where we want to go. But we put so much stake in them, so much stock in them, that it ends up drowning us in the pursuit of them and doesn't allow us to live our life. Goals are great. Freedom's worth far more. I mean, this was my life, right? Like I was constantly chasing goals. I was constantly pursuing top sales goals, new business records, trying to get as fit as I could in the gym. I was trying to show up for everybody all the time, to be the guy for everybody. But I couldn't take it anymore. And one of the worst things was every time that I heard some motivational message, I got somebody to encourage me, a lot of times with really good intention. I would hear this mantra, right? Just put your mind to it and you can accomplish anything. And I'm sorry, but that is just such bullshit. That mindset not only is not true, but it is one of the most burdensome and overwhelming things we can hear. If I just put my mind to it, I can achieve anything. Like, I'm never going to be a center for the LA Lakers. I'm never going to win the PGA Tour. Now, can I get better at basketball? Can I be the best I can be? Absolutely. Can I get better at golf and be the best I can be? I hope so, and I believe so. But putting my mind to it isn't going to get me those things just because I think I can. And not only that, when I'm in this deep-seated belief that if I just put my mind to it, I can do it, I end up feeling an overwhelming sense of condemnation and shame every time I don't. So instead, as I think about what it's going to take to transform our lives into a freedom experiencing life, that's what I'm really after. I want to enjoy my life. I don't want to be constantly burdened. I don't want to be constantly stressed. I don't want other people dictating how I live my life. And this isn't about recklessly just doing whatever the heck you want to do, but it's about life on my terms, life on my family's terms. Not having to worry about where my next paycheck comes from. Not having to worry about the stresses of what tomorrow brings. Literally living in the moment and continuing to pursue those moments day in and day out. That's what it means to live a life of freedom. And for any of you guys that are so concerned right now about this idea, when I say like scrap your goals, trash your goals, or you can't live with all this burden, or you got to start, you got to change up the way you're doing things. When I talk to people about that, especially men, one of the first things I get pushback on is I can't give up everything that I've worked for. Like, I've worked so hard to get to this point. I'm almost to where I need to be financially. Good. Don't give those things up. As a matter of fact, again, going back to this analogy of athletics, when a hitter, when a golfer, when a quarterback is in the flow, when they are truly just in their most amazing environment, when they're in their own head in the best of ways, they are crushing it. They are able to accomplish far more when they start to discard all of those things that are burdening them. So how can you do this? So I'm just going to lay out the 9 pillars that my Foundations to Freedom Academy works through, that I work through with my one-to-one clients, and things that you can think on as you pursue a life of authenticity that experiences freedom. So 9 things that you can think about. And by the way, if you want more detail on these things, you can definitely get involved into my next Foundations to Freedom Academy. That's going to be launching soon. That's going to be specifically for men. That will be capped at 20 people, and more details will be announced very, very shortly. But you can reach out to me. You can direct message me. We can set up a call and talk more about that. That's not something that's just as simple as you signing up for. But if you'd like to hear more about each of these areas, what I would encourage you to do is to join my Be Authentic Premium community. I mean, it's $27 a month. It's a low-cost way for you to get into my head and join a community that's all pursuing these same things. As a matter of fact, just today, I dropped a short video of encouragement and training around one of the pillars that I'm going to talk about today, which is being indistractable. So if you'd like to learn more about that, 2 ways you can do that. You can go to ryanjamesmiller.com/BA-join, or you can text the letters BA to 714-202-9402, and I will follow up with you and let you know how you can join the premium community. Get to be a part of that Facebook group. You get some BA swag sent out to you right away. It's a really good way just to kind of dip your toes in the water, which I feel like a lot of us need when it comes to this type of stuff, because it's very counter culture to the way we typically approach abundance, the way that we typically approach authenticity, the way that are counter to the way that we typically approach action. So it's just very, very different. Okay, so I'm landing the plane here by sharing with you the 9 things, and then I'm just going to let you go think of them. Hopefully, this podcast is enough to at least provoke you to think on each of these things. So 9 things that you want to think about if you are going to take your authentic self and pursue the freedom that I believe you deserve. Not just that you think you want, but you truly deserve. Number 1, define your purpose, principles, and passions. Pillar number 1, you got to define your purpose, passions, and principles. Number 2, ensure the roles that you are called to in life complement instead of compete with one another. Number 3, create habits and disciplines that reflect the person that you want to become. Number 4, prepare for, deal with, and avoid every distraction you are faced with. You can do that. And again, I told you, I shared that with my community this morning. Number 5, live as the person you say you are. It's all about self-awareness. Number 6, connect with your purpose on a day-to-day basis. It's not just about having a purpose, believing you have this purpose, and then going off and doing a bunch of stuff. Every single thing that you do should be connected to your purpose. Next up, create a long-term vision for your future. Stephen Covey says, begin with the end in mind. You've probably heard me quote him before. You definitely want to know where you're going if you're going to create a life of getting there. Next up, establish short-term moments for celebration and consistent direction. Short-term, small wins. I actually even talked about that a little bit this morning in the Indistractable training. And then finally, find joy and fulfillment by doing what you want, when you want, with the people that you want. That ultimately is the way that you pursue freedom. Hope this was a helpful, quick hit on the podcast this morning. You got any questions? You know where to reach me. Other than that, thank you so much for the continued support, encouragement, all the words that you share with me. It literally means so much to me that there is, I'm making an impact into the lives of so many different people by way of their response to me. With that, be you, be happy, be authentic. Peace.
Thank you for listening to Authentic Conversations with Ryan James Miller. If you found value in today's episode, please subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform and share it with others. To connect with Ryan and learn more, visit ryanjamesmiller.com.